Okay, guys, I am here again. Thank you very much for being so responsible and honest. So, the project one is your timeline. As you have observed and watched and studied the previous information, it was about my timeline, and I'm gonna show you how you are gonna present it using your own information. This is project one, and the name is My Timeline. Okay, as similar as I have already presented, now it's time to present it again. Starting to live. Okay, in 1970, I was born in a town named Agua Dulce, Veracruz. In 1975, I started to study the kindergarten, and I remember that moment in my life because I it was the first generation of being of having a kindergarten in my town hometown. And I remember I played, I had fun with my friends, and I remember a lot of moments, happy moments with my friends. But I only studied 1 year. In 1976, I started elementary school at Escuela Benito Juárez 123 in my hometown in Agua Dulce, Veracruz. I studied there for 6 years. And I remember I had a lot of friends. My favorite teacher was named Beatriz Coronel. My best friend at that time, it was Marisa Castro. I remember her. We were like sisters. We love each other. Growing up, I remember that in 1977, my little sister was born. I didn't know my mom was pregnant, and it was a surprise for me to know that I had a baby sister. And honestly, it was in that moment, it was like a painful moment because I used to be, sorry, I used to be the princess of the house, and when she was there, oh my god, everybody had her attention on my sister and not anymore on me, but I survived. Now I'm presented that in 1982 I studied the middle school in the afternoon shift. The name of the school, it was Escuela Federal Número Uno, Sección 22, and I was in the age group. This is my original group, but I wasn't there that day on the photograph. And I remember that moment as well in 1983. It was my first kiss with my first boyfriend, and his name is Ruben. I finished middle school in 1985, and I began high school in Agua Dulce, Veracruz as well. And the name of that school, it was 15 de agosto de 1935. Now it's a CECITE or CECITA, but it was my high school at that moment. And when I studied 2 years of high school because I studied in an old program, in the Mexican old program of high school, which lasted 2 years only. And after 2 years, you apply for the university, a place at university, and I applied for Universidad Veracruzana to study 1 year of propedéutico, and I studied from 1987 to 1988 in Coatzacoalcos, Veracruz, in the afternoon shift. I remember that moment because from 1987 to 1988, I used to travel every day from my hometown to Coatzacoalcos, Veracruz. I remember I left my house at 11 a.m. and I came back. I used to come back at 8 o'clock or 9 p.m. After that year, I moved to Jalapa, Veracruz, to start studying at the university. Uh, from 1988 to 1992, I studied at the Universidad Veracruzana. I studied my English and French degree. And I remember those days as well because I met my husband at the university. So after graduation, what happened in my life? Well, in 1993, I moved to Ciudad del Carmen and I started to work at Centro de Idiomas at the UNACAR. In 1995, I got married. Uh, from 1993 to 1999, I worked at the Centro de Idiomas for 9 years. And in 1999, my daughter Marla del Carmen was born. I quit my job for a year, but in 2001, from 2001 to 2003, I came back to the UNACAR and I coordinated the English bachelor degree until 2003. And I remember that those days or those years, because that's the wonderful years, because my son Salvador was born in 2002. So that is part of my life. And some events so important in my life as a family, they were in 2003. Uh, First, I traveled to the United States for the first time. I visited Cuca College with a group of students and teachers. We stayed there for 15 days. But during that trip, we visited New York as well for 3 days. And then after that trip, I remember in September, I moved to United Kingdom, my family and I. In 2004, we came back to Mexico, and then in 2007, we moved again to the United Kingdom, and we lived there for 4 years. And during those years living abroad, from 2007 to 2011, I worked at the University of Essex as a part-time Spanish teacher, and I worked as well as a part-time housekeeper at the General Hospital in Colchester, is the city where I work. We stayed there for 4 years. We traveled a lot in United Kingdom and different countries in Europe. In 2011, we came back to Mexico, and from 2012 to 2015, I started to work at Unacar again, and after that, I worked at the uh, middle school ETI 21, ETI 25, and ETI 26 for a year. I was a teacher of English. In 2017, from 2017 to 2018, I worked as a French teacher at Colegio Nueva Generación, and it was an amazing experience because I have never worked with children for a long time. So it was a challenge for me, and I really enjoyed it, honestly. Then after those events in my life, 2018, I decided to start studying because I didn't have another job. So I decided to apply for a master degree. This master degree is offered by the UNACAR, and the name is Innovación y Prácticas Educativas. And what attracted to me, it was because if I was accepted, I could have a scholarship, a grant. So that's why during 2 years. So that's why I decided to apply, and I was accepted. In 2020, I finished. Well, I haven't celebrated my graduation, but I have already finished the courses, and almost is my graduation ceremony, probably in November. In 2020, I started to work at Universidad Tecnológica de Calakmul, and it was very uh, surprise surprised event in my life because I started to work on my birthday. So, and I had been working at the UPN 042 de Ciudad del Carmen. I have been working there since 2018 until nowadays as a teacher of English. So that was my timeline, and now is your turn. Okay, you are going to organize your own timeline. Okay, how? For example, I have already, or I suggest to think about the most important events since you were born. I was considered, but you can add or change the information since you were born, the year, what happened during the first years of your life, as a toddler, if you remember events in your life as a toddler, if you remember the most important events in your life while you were in elementary school, middle school, high school, and university. And if you have something you remember, like your first party, or your first kiss, boyfriend, girlfriend, or your special celebration, you can include it. So after you have organized that information, you have remembered that information, you are going to start looking for photos or images to do your presentation. Honestly, I was looking for all photos from my Facebook, from my albums, and I took from some original photos. Some other images are from internet or from a web page. So remember to practice it before you present it or record it. Remember, you can record it or make a video or present it on class. So depending on you or depending on your internet as well. But I suggest you have to practice it before you do it. And what is going to be evaluated? Your organization is going to value 2 points. The use of simple past, you have to use regular and irregular verbs, 3 points. Your pronunciation and fluency, I mean, you have to pronounce accept, in a acceptable way, and your fluency should be natural. Your vocabulary, if you look for the appropriate vocabulary, and the total of this activity is going to be 10 points. And as I emphasize, it's recommended to practice before recording or you present your final project. Okay, and thanks. Enjoy it, please.